Hey, what's going on, everybody? Strong and pretty, man. Strong and pretty. Look at this. I don't look like I got cancer, do I? Man, I feel just as good as I look. Yeah, right.
Emotional damage.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
You gotta keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's go. Don't quit till you got nothing left.
You can either live your dreams or live your fears.
Because you'll have bad times, but that'll always wake you up to the good stuff you weren't paying attention to.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
From the Cancer Sucks Studios, you just tuned in to Life Lessons and Cancer Hope with Coach Steve. Listen, cancer ain't got nothing on me. Introducing an outstanding podcast where we discuss relatable life lessons, ambition, motivation, and perseverance. Welcome back to another episode. Anyway, I'll be coughing a little bit, maybe here and there. So don't mind my raspy voice. I'm still hooked up to chemo. There she is. I got the bag, the shoulder bag. I had the fanny pack, bringing that back to 2022. Thanks to The Rock, you know, that old picture of him, Dwayne Johnson, wearing that fanny pack, man. I see some people wearing some fanny packs, man. That's coming back, right?
That is so embarrassing.
That's enough, Billy.
It's okay, Miss Green. At least my dad chose me. Your mom didn't have a choice.
Day in the life.
Emotional damage.
But now we got the men's shoulder bag. I'm gonna try to get a nice maybe like a military green, even though I'm not in the military, but I support you guys out there. Thank you for your service. We just had Memorial Day, but yeah, no, that's great. But anyway, the shoulder bag, purse, man purse, I'm gonna bring that back. So I'll probably be sporting that next. So how's everybody doing? I got a lot of listeners out there fighting cancer, or a lot of family members dealing with it, or we had a lot of good people, man. A lot of good people passed away. We had, God bless Sarah Ewing. I had her on my podcast. Mother of two kids. Our daughter is doing great. I'm following over at Four Leaf CrossFit over in Florida, and anyway, the mom, Sarah, she was doing really good. And then, God bless her soul. So but she did not lose the fight. Actually, I had to put this up because her husband sent me a good, let's see here. We're going to edit this shit out here because this,
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
what the hell? Hey, iPhone or Android users, what do you think? What do you think? The debate between the iPhone and the Android. I don't know. I switched over to iPhone because my kids are on the iPhone. Everybody's on the iPhone. You could send videos. What was it called? The iMessage, better than Android. But I don't know, man. But you know what? You know what? No matter what, though, whether you get an iPhone or an Android, after 2 years, the battery in the phone, man, just kapoots, man. They force you to get a new phone. So I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so God bless Sarah Ewing's soul, and we're gonna. The husband reached out to me after I reached out to him, and sent me a little something here on his perspective. I kind of wrote it up and put it on Facebook and Instagram. I got to read it out to you guys here because it is very inspirational, and it's a good way to look at cancer fighters that God rest their souls, that do pass. I don't want to be a downer on this channel, but it is what it is. It's life. Anyway, so here it is by Ben Ewing in loving memory of his wife. Sarah did not lose her battle with cancer, but rather she won her battle every day by the way she lived and spread awareness. Take the power away from cancer. We need to do that. We definitely need to take the power away from cancer by changing the narrative. And then he goes to me, he says, I am also winning my battle, not just by staying alive, but by thriving in the midst of the disease. So that's all you guys too. You are winning your battle, not by just staying alive, but by thriving in the midst of the disease. So, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So here, let's see. I want to do a podcast on like some cancer 101s, beginners. Probably maybe on the next podcast we'll do that. I haven't been on here in a while. I had I released a podcast I think a few weeks ago that I recorded a few months ago, so I haven't been in a mental good place. Maybe been down in the hole, but I'm out of the hole, and I think my toes are still in the hole. Half of my foot. I mean, you're dealing with this, you're never out of the hole. You can tell yourself you're out of the hole, but yeah, you still got one foot in the hole. But yeah, inspiration, man. So anyway, so here's my here's I just want to give everybody an update on what's been going on. It is 2022. It is June 3rd. I'm recording this today, this morning, and yeah, it's been a tough break, man. It's been over 2 years now. I've been fighting. I just hooked up the number 31 chemo round. If you think that's a lot, it's not, because I've got friends that are, God bless you guys, you ladies out there. There's a few ladies out there that I know. I'm friends on Facebook. Man, 80 something rounds, 80 something rounds, and strong. So, yeah, I just think, that's incredible, incredible, incredible. So, I try not to be a weenie and complain too much about 31 rounds, because I always think about the people that are on their 60th, 70th, 80th round, and they're still going, and I'm not even not even halfway there. Anyway, yeah, cancer's a bitch, man. Yeah, I'm gonna swear a little bit, sorry, but it's fucking relentless. But guess what? We as warriors are even more relentless. We got to never back down. Man, isn't that a movie back in the 80s? I gotta rewatch that. Um, Speaking of movies, I'm all over the place, but Top Gun #2. Uh, I haven't seen it yet. I heard it's phenomenal, better than the first one. People are like, "Oh, how can it be better than the first one?" Right? I don't know. Well, because he was like, very, Tom Cruise in that first movie. It was awesome. He was awesome, but he was like, cavalier, kind of like a cocky, show off kind of thing. And I guess the second one is more of about the story and everybody, and yeah, and the scenes in it too, when he did his own scenes in the jet. So that's cool. Speaking of movies, you definitely want to watch some feel good movies. Get those cortisol levels down, people. It is not good for you. Even action flicks. And, Tom Cruise's second movie, it's probably going to be a lot of action, suspense a little bit. So it's probably not going to be as good either, but might be worth it. I think it's going to be worth it to watch it. Other than that, I try to stay away from like a lot of action movies, like unless it's like funny, trying to watch feel good movies and comedies. Forget the horror stuff. Don't even bother, even if you're a fan, because cortisol levels are bad, and you want some feel good hormones and for the cancer. Yeah, to fight the cancer. Cancer loves inflammation, loves and thrives on those cortisol levels. So anyway, a little bit about me. Yeah, I kicked the cancer's butt in the liver. So obviously, a couple years ago, I was doomed. They said, hey, I'm not a surgical candidate, and I got tumors covered all over my liver, my CEA cancer marker, which is usually normal is 0, right, or less than 5. I guess it depends if you're a smoker or not. I'm not a smoker, never smoked. Um, but over 5 is concerning, you know, obviously. And mine was 4,300. Now I did hear some people that are even higher than that, but not that many. Um, and then I surprised some people because I guess they were like, in the hundreds, 100 something, 300 something, 1,000 something. I'm like, no, man, mine was 4,000. Not that we're competing against CEAs, isn't that crazy? But It's the point of it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because now mine's less than 10, and it was less than 5. Actually, it was one. It ended up going down to like 1 point something or other, and now it's like back up to like the hell is it back up to 7, 7, 8, 7.5? No, 7.5 was the last one. And it depends on and and this is just a little educational thing. If you're checking your CEA at different lab companies, meaning like different hospital systems, because I go see Sloan in New York, I see Syracuse hematology in New York. I'm in upstate New York in Rochester here, guys. Oh, sorry for the background noise. I got to stop stomping on this damn table. And and then a local Rochester cancer center getting it done. The labs, you have to compare the CEAs against, and you should be doing this with other like hormone levels or other markers and things like that too from the same because it's all to do with the machines that they use and the spinners and the way they process. So you keep track of that trend line wherever that trend line goes, um, on those lab values of the cancer markers, but compare them separately from each place. You can't go like, oh, this one place I was like 10, and then this other place I was 6. 2 weeks and like, oh, it dropped or oh, it increased. Well, no, you have to compare the same place, and that's the best way to do it. So anyway, sorry guys, I got to keep clearing my throat. Like I said, it's just my lungs and stuff has been bothering me. So anyway, so I kicked the butt. I got this HAI pump, hepatic artery infusion pump by Medtronics, 22-inch incision, 40 something staples. Um, this was back in 2021 in January, February, no, February. And before that, I had Y90 radioembolization. And that was a game changer. I was able to be a surgical candidate. So when they tell you that you're not a surgical candidate, okay, um, it doesn't mean that you're going to stay forever as a non-surgical candidate. So don't take those words a little bit differently and say, okay, I got to fight more. I need some chemo. I need some, whatever you need, interventional radiology stuff, maybe some radiation, in order to get to the point where you can be a surgical candidate. So right off the bat, you newbies out there, just remember that. And surgical candidate means that the cancer is more controlled to the point where they can go in and remove it. There's some clean margins in there, and they're able to remove, resect, maybe not necessarily all the tumors, but at least some. So they were able to go in and remove the primary site of the colon cancer. I did a colon resection. Yes, I was lucky enough not to have a colostomy bag. I've been a nurse for 25 years. So if anybody has any questions regarding colostomy bags, reach out to me. I've changed thousands over the years, hundreds or thousands of colostomy bags. That's lots of teachings. Have seen the product improvements over the years, from the crappy clip-ons to the Velcros to the nicer wafers that they have now. These nice products that don't irritate the skin, and some nice techniques, things like that. So that's you know, and then don't forget a lot of these colostomy bags are temporary. If they do a resection and they can't, if you can't pass the pressure test, so they reconnect it, make sure it passes the pressure test so it stays together. If you have a lot of inflammation there or some kind of infection, then they're not going to connect you back. You're going to get a bag, and a lot of times you're going to get a bag for 6 to 8 months, maybe sooner, because they are doing it faster now with these suction, with these pressure tests. They're able to reconnect faster, and then they reconnect. Yes, there's a lot of cases where it's permanent. So, but they've got really some nice appliances. You can go swimming, you can lead an active daily life with it. Does it still suck? Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. I never had a bag, but sure. If it's permanent, I know. But it's between that or being 6 feet in the ground from cancer because you didn't want a colostomy bag. Well, I don't know. That's up to you. All right. So anyway, so I did that. They removed it. The pump, which infuses a FUDR chemo, which is a high dose, a lethal dose almost. Like so, if they infused it in my Metaport, see, they infused it in here. I don't know. I wouldn't be here. So because it's such a high dose, but the reason why they have the pump is because they're able to feed that high dose right into the liver through the hepatic artery, targeting those tumors, and then it doesn't go anywhere else. You don't have the symptoms, the systemic symptoms. But but here's the thing too: you need most of the time you need to continue systemic chemo with this. But that's okay. That's just because it's another targeted view. And I've heard of lots of people that have gotten rid of their liver tumors, their liver mets from the colon cancer. Okay. Now, just because you have liver mets, okay, and cancer in your liver from colon, it's not liver cancer. It's still colon cancer. The colon cancer cells migrate. So it migrates to the lung, migrates. So let's say it migrates to the lung, right? Lung mets. It's still colon cancer. It's colon cancer cells. It's not lung cancer cells. Okay. If it was lung cancer cells with the colon cancer, well, then you got two cancers. But that's the metastatic, movement there. So anyway, so that's still resolved. It's all dead. My liver is very inflamed. I got some kind of hepatitis. Not the I don't know. Not the hepatitis that you normally hear about, A, B, and C. This is like an inflammation hepatitis. Itis, the last letters of itis, whether it's diverticulitis, hepatitis, pancreatitis, itis means inflammation. So inflammation of the liver is hepatitis. So yeah, so my bilirubins the last couple weeks here have been above 2.0. So I've been trying to get that down. That's been affecting the dosage of the chemo a little bit. They got to go a little bit lower dose because of it. And I'm taking some ursodiol pills to try to keep that bilirubin down. Obviously, it's not super high where I'm starting to turn yellow or anything like that, but I do got to be careful and keep an eye on it. And of course, it affects my treatment. So we were just about there. We were, let's see, was it last summer? I can't remember. Yes, last summer. I was almost Ned. So Ned means NED, no evidence of disease. Another way of saying remission. Remission, I guess, what they tell me is more for blood cancers. But people use it fluently. You can use remission, NED, whatever. So close to no evidence of disease, so close. And then we rescanned it, and everything's good. Obviously, good news, resolved in the colon and resolved in the liver. But of course, son of a bitch, that cancer cells, it spreads, man. That's the way it is. I took a little break from chemo because it was very debilitating. And since the liver and colon was doing so good, and the other thing is I had another bowel obstruction. So when you have any kind of bowel surgery where they open you up, that's why it's always better to go. I know I'm all over the place, guys. Hang on tight here. Play this again if you gotta. But it's all relevant. See, any time you have bowel surgery that they don't do laparoscopic. Laparoscopic means they go in through like 3, maybe 4 poke holes, right? They scope you. They got a tool. They got a light in one of them. They got a tool, another tool, camera, and all that. And they can go in there and they can minimize. And they can do resections, bowel resections. They can do all kinds of stuff. Shit, they can take out your gallbladder. They can do all kinds of stuff, and they got these robots now. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so it minimizes the scar tissue. Well, the problem is every time they got to open you up and they can't do it laparoscopically, there's adhesions in there. And there's always chance for bowel obstructions, which means the loops of the bowels kind of somehow with the scar tissue sometimes can narrow, right, and cause issues. And it's common. So I ended up having surgery last year, emergency surgery last summer. And of course, when you have surgery, you got to put chemo on hold, things like that. So that was the other thing. And then I recovered through that. Oh, so that was not fun because they had to reopen me up my zipper. So yeah, so that time, even though that CA was below 5 at the time, man, I tell you, that was just enough for the couple of cancer cells to say, "Yippee ki I'm gonna go to the lung. Yeah, let's go check out this lung paradise place, and retire there." So yeah, so that's where they ended up going. So I had lung mets, and I had like three, I think three lung tumors, and they were good size, I guess. They grew fast and grew to a good size to the point where they needed ablation. Now ablation is they go in, right, and radiation 300 degrees, like a tiny little needle probe, and they go in through the back. They probably could go through the front too, depending upon where the tumor is. Mine was just happened to be through the back. So they went in. They went in like 5 times because they found another one, and I don't know. They needed 5 poke holes. Well, it's like a balloon. Maybe you can get away with 1 poke or 2 pokes before it pops. Like one of those kid kid wubble bubbles. I don't want to say a regular balloon because a regular balloon will probably pop after 1 poke, but those wubble bubbles or whatever you call them. So anyway, so yeah, so my lung collapsed, and I was in the hospital for a few days, and I'm still feeling the effects of it. I'm on albuterol inhaler, a little exercise induced asthma, which means even going down the stairs and taking a shower. Kind of bothers me. I am talking more without being long winded, so that's good. That is improving. But anyway, long story short, they were able to be successful with those tumors. But then they're like, all right, let's take another x ray in a month and see how it goes. Well, guess, oh, it's CAT scans. Sorry, not x ray, CAT scan. And yeah, so it ended up, they found a few more. Ugh. So after they found a few more, they were really small. They said they're going to continue keeping an eye on it. Too small to do ablation. But yeah, so we restarted. Actually, we didn't restart chemo because they were really small and stable. And before that, I restarted the chemo after surgery. Uh, so long story short, I was able to take a break because it was so debilitating for me. Some people can deal with these chemos and go to work and all that, and and some people can't, and I can't. I'm so sensitive. I It was to the point where Amy had to take off of work for like a week or two, help me shower. Like it was terrible. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go up and down the stairs by myself. I couldn't get up out of bed by myself. It was so debilitating. So the doctor's like, okay, yeah, we can handle a break, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because she's like, it's stable, it's small, whatever. Aha, taking the break. Well, what are you gonna do? It's a roll of the dice, though, because like, what's worse, right? I don't know. Is the chemo worse, or is the cancer worse, or is it better to take a break because you get stronger? Even if the cancer gets stronger, you're getting stronger to the point where you can fight again. It's kind of like being in the boxing ring and having no bell, no rounds. You know, you're going 4 rounds without the bell. Would you rather have the bell between each round or just go all 4 rounds without the bell? You'd probably want the bell to rest. So even though you can get your ass kicked because the other guy's resting too, right? And he's getting stronger, right? So anyway, well, whatever. So they rescanned me, and a few more lung tumors showed up, and then now it's in the I think 2 lymph nodes, and there's a new tumor outside my right kidney. I think left or right. I think they said right kidney. I guess it's not. I specifically asked. I said, "Listen, is it on the kidney or is it outside the kidney?" They said it was outside the kidney. I'm like, "All right, cool. Not cool, but cool." So now I'm back on chemo, Avastin, which is not a chemo agent, but it really like kind of shrinks up those blood vessels that attack the or the not attack, shrink up the blood vessels that feed the cancer tumors. And then I'm on 5FU, which is a 2-day infusion bag, shoulder bag that we talked about, bringing the shoulder bag back. So yeah, so I'm doing that, and then I think I got one more round. No, I shouldn't say one more round. Another round before I go back for scans, and we'll see what happens. The CEA did climb up the last 6 weeks, but it's still less than 10, though. I mean, sheesh. I guess if I compare it to 4,300, it's minimal. But sometimes inflammation can cause the CEA to climb. So you guys out there that are like watching your cancer markers. Sometimes inflammation can affect it, can cause an increase. Might not necessarily mean the cancer is getting worse. Just means your body, can only handle so much inflammation at one time. Now there are a lot of colon cancer patients out there that the CEA does not spike at all, which is fine. Just don't freak out. It doesn't mean you don't have cancer. It just means I don't know if it's a protein. I don't know. It stands for something, but for some people, it just doesn't. It's not a good indicator. It's just not an indicator. If if you got colon cancer and you never had a CA done, just get it done and to see if it is an indicator. Because if it is, then you can use it as an indicator and watch it. If not, then there might be some other stuff you can keep an eye on. Obviously, the scans every couple months, 2 months. Push it, man. Push those scans every 2 months. 3 months is too far away, and get those. And it's surprisingly how many people have cancer and don't get a PET scan. It just blows my mind. Now I know some surgeons or some doctors will say, well, the PET scan can be, tough to kind of. But here's the thing, to kind of rely on. Okay, but here's the thing with the PET scan. It's an indicator. It's not just for you just to rely on those results alone. Okay. You need a PET scan. So the CAT scan. So the CAT scan, when you do a CAT scan and you do a PET scan, they kind of go hand in hand together and you can compare those results from one scan to the next to 2 months later. Now it's the same thing with the CEA, right? If you spike your CEAs, you want it checked every 2 weeks for the CEA, for the cancer marker, if it's a good indicator for you, because you can keep an eye on that. Same thing with a PET scan. As long as now they don't want you any vigorous activity within the last 24 hours, because again, any kind of inflammation will kind of skew that PET scan results. So you don't want any, and then you got to stay, no eating after midnight, and they inject this radioactive I don't want to say iodine, radioactive isotope, that's what it is, into you. That's like sugar, I guess, so glucose based. Because cancer loves sugar. And then, of course, you're gonna have the haters out there and be like, "Oh, you can eat whatever you want. Come on, stop with the sugar and the cancer." Blah, 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 blah. No, no, seriously, yeah, stop with the refined sugar. Listen, even if you're healthy and you're skinny or you're obese, doesn't matter. Stop with the refined sugar. It's not good for you. Whether you're the healthiest guy in the world, lady in the world, or you're the sickest person in the world, refined sugar is bad. So, yes, get it out of your diet. Anyway, enough of that. But yeah, so anyway, the PET scan has an uptake. They call it an uptake. How much? So it targets where that isotope is going, and it gives you an uptake measurement of how much it soaks in that stuff. And if you had surgery recently and inflammation, that also has uptake. And so that's why some doctors are like, well, it could just be inflammation. They don't like to rely on that too much. But why not? Get it. Get a pre approval through your insurance company, pre authorization, and just get it done every time you have a CAT scan. And especially if you haven't had surgery recently, then why not? I mean, just compare those uptakes from scan to scan. So that's my, you know, That's my advice to you guys. But yeah, that's where I'm at. We're hitting almost a half an hour here, so I'm going to close up shop here in a second. But I just wanted to give everybody an update on what's going on with me. I do have some guests lined up. It's just been tough mentally, man. I mean, it's just, guys, it's just been hard to keep others motivated and keep me motivated. I like to motivate others, inspires me, keeps me going. But it is a balance. I need to work. Sometimes I'm just quiet and I don't post anything. And then all of a sudden now, like recently, I've been posting a lot and I try to do like dark humor. And some people are like, wait, did the doctor really say that to you? Wow, was that really your experience? I'm like, no, it's just dark humor. It's just funny. And some people think it's not funny, but the cancer fighters think it's funny. And if you don't think it's funny, you got to laugh more. So that's the tip of the day. Laugh more, smile more, live each day to the fullest. Oh, one more thing. I got my buddy. I'm going to give him a shout out, Mr. Brett Miller. He gave me, I'm going to post this today on my Instagram. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Cancer Hope with Coach Steve. Is that right? Did I do that right? At Cancer Hope with Coach Steve. Yeah, look at that. It's right behind me. It's the chemo brain, not the life lessons. That's an old banner. But anyway, yeah. So let's see. Let's pull this up. And I just want to say, follow me on YouTube. We have these podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify. Sorry if I missed a few others, but they're on several platforms. We also have it on YouTube. Now, if you're on YouTube, please ring, click that little bell, ring, 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 because that's going to help the algorithm and get people to watch this YouTube video and help me inspire others to do it. So, and hit that subscribe button right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, please. Please like button. Just go ahead, hit the like button right now. Just need one finger. Click that like button.
You're killing me, Smalls.
So Brett, my good friend here, he's actually my wife's cousin. He says, I have cancer. It doesn't have me. I can bury my head in the sand or I can get busy living. Dig in and get to pushing. Wow. I had a bad day yesterday because my CA came back, my markers came up, and he sent that to me, man, and it just got me out of bed. And I'm like, you know what? Yep. Dig in and get to pushing. So, all right, guys, we'll see you on the switch side or the flip side, switch side. Oh man, I totally screwed that up. See you guys on the flip side. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit the notification bell. Ding, 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 ding. All right, see you guys later. See ya. Bye. From the Cancer Suck Studios, that is a wrap. Check us out in future episodes of our podcast and be sure to subscribe. But before we go, just want to give a shout out to all the admirable and devoted caregivers out there. Until next time, stay strong. We got this.
Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals